It's my dad, Bob Lonsdale. I'm sure you've all met him before. Give him a round of applause.
Good afternoon, everybody. There's two things in life that most men dread. One of them is Manchester City winning the Premiership. And thank goodness that has never occurred yet. And the other one is having to stand up in front of people and make a wedding speech. My name is Bob Lonsdale, and as the father of the bride, a very lovely bride, it's my pleasure to make the opening speech. And it's a pleasure mainly because once it's done, I can sit down and talk to everybody else. Now, apparently, the bride's father's speech is going to be as long as it takes the groom to make love. So, good afternoon, thank you. Actually, I did write a speech and my wife wanted to edit it, like she always does, and she took out all the embarrassing stories, the innuendos, the smutty jokes, and the insults. But I don't like you, but thank you, good afternoon, goodbye. It doesn't like it for me as a wedding speech, so I had to put a bit more material in. First of all, thanks very much for coming along this afternoon to celebrate the wedding, the marriage of Vicky and Stephen. Seeing Vicky in her wedding dress, it's absolutely marvellous, and it reminds me when she was a little girl, she used to love prancing around in any sort of dress. Her mother's dresses, her dress, the frillier they were and the more fancy they were, the more she loved it.
And my shoes.
Now, Roger tells me that Stephen was very much the same. That is until he met Vicky and realised he really liked girls. But in all that time, in all those dresses, I've never seen her look lovelier than she does in her wedding dress today. Please give a round of applause for the bridesmaids. They looked absolutely gorgeous. It brings a bit of a tear to my eye, you know, to look at my little girl today and realise that she's grown up and she's a woman. Especially when I think back to when she was a tiny baby and to times when she was crawling around the floor, trying to stand up, being sick on the carpet. Her 18th birthday party was really a nice event. But a marriage is not just about a merger of two people, it's about a merger of two families. And Sue and I are absolutely delighted to be merging our family with Dot and Roger and their lovely family. Now, I'm supposed to tell some funny stories about Vicky when she was a little girl, at the time when she learned to climb up trees, but she didn't actually learn to climb down again. So I had to look like a wally, running across the field with a ladder over my shoulder, into the woods to get it down again. By the time when she was about 12 or 13, and she walked into our bedroom in the middle of the night and climbed into the wardrobe. And we said, Vicky, what are you doing? She said, I can't find anywhere to hide. But the best one is the sun lamp incident, when Vicky and her friend, they're only young and they just realised that there were boys around, and if we've got suntan, we'll get better boys. So Sue and I were out at the time, and Vicky got the sun lamp out, which takes about 3 minutes to tan you. And when we got home, they were there, Saint-Tropez. They'd been under the sun lamp for about half an hour. So the following morning, you can imagine, these two swollen lobsters with big puffed up faces, little slitty eyes. It's like something from Monster from the Swamp. I don't think we saw the pair of them for about a week until they looked normal again. But I have to say, Vicky, you've been a perfect daughter. I think you spelled perfect. Wrong. It's only me in it, not you. But I don't understand the all day embarrassing Vicky because she's got far more ammunition on me than I've got on her. But turning to Stephen, where do I start? I mean, they do say that a lady likes to marry a man just like a father. So it's not surprising that he's witty, charming, intelligent and handsome. Albeit with a modest and laid-back style. Now, Stephen first appeared at our front door as a little boy. At the age of 14. On his snake board. Now, I don't know if you know, a snake board is like a skateboard. Only it's bent. Now, I'm a pretty good character, and I took one look at him and I thought, this lad's going to be trouble. But I didn't know just how much trouble was going until many years later when he actually resorted to crime, serious crime, to protect his interests in Vicky. He had a major love rival at the time. Yes. Floppy the teddy bear was Vicky's big love. And Stephen knew it. And one day he ran into the house, kidnapped strapped him in his seatbelt in the front seat of the car and sped off. And held him to ransom. But as you can see, we paid the ransom and Floppy came back. Now, he disappeared for about 8 years. We didn't see him, and I thought he was safe to open the front door again. But he reappeared, and I've not managed to shake him off since. But I have to say that over the years, he's become just like a second son to me. He's disrespectful, he leaves the place untidy, he spends me money at every opportunity. Now, Stephen tells me that now that they're married, he's going to wear the trousers. But I know Vicky, and I think she might tell him which trousers to wear. But they are a good team, and they're great parents to a beautiful son, our lovely grandson Jackson. Now, apparently as an old hand at the game, I'm expected to give Steve some advice on how to have a long and happy marriage. Now, apparently marriage is a 50-50 balance between two people. Now, I don't know who said that, but they didn't know very much about marriage. And they knew less about maths, and they knew bugger all about women. So my advice is, when you're in the wrong, say so. Admit it. Apologise. But what's more important is, when you're in the right, say nothing. Keep absolutely stum about it. Now, over time, marriage will teach you a lot of important things. It will teach you self-restraint, temperance, obedience. In fact, after 42 years of marriage, Sue's still giving me lessons on this front on a daily basis. But on a final note, I think I can see, and I hope you can, that Vicky and Stephen were made for each other. And I hope that we're blessed with a love that lasts and happiness that grows. So I'd like to be upstanding and have a toast to the happiness of Vicky and Stephen.
Well, that was brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Chin chin.